Hello, everybody. Welcome to Experience VCC. This is the session for baking, culinary, and hospitality management programs. If you are deaf or hard of hearing, and if you would like a sign language interpreter in this session, please let us know in the chat. We have some standing by. My name is Jennifer Giesbrecht. Call me Jen. I work in the office. I'm basically a writer and an editor, so I do the stories you see on our website and sometimes social media posts, view book, and materials like that. With me here also is Elizabeth. She is our social media manager, and the two of us are your hosts today for this session. Before we start, I want to acknowledge that we study, work, and live on the unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples. It's traditional home of the Squamish, Musqueam, and Tsleil-Waututh peoples. Please mute your mics, mute your Zoom for now, because we'll be hearing from different instructors from these programs first. First, we'll hear about Culinary Arts. Well, then we'll hear about Asian Culinary Arts, which is a very unique program in North America. We'll hear about Baking and Pastry Arts, and then Hospitality Management at VCC. After the presentations, we'll have a Q&A session. So you're welcome to write your questions in the chat while the presentations are happening, but I would actually recommend to just save them to the end in case your question is answered during the presentations. We'll open the floor, so to speak, after everyone's done presenting as well, in case you feel like speaking in person or on Zoom. Please note that this session is being recorded, which in order to be available later for anyone who's missed the session. At the very end of the session, please stay tuned, because I'm going to give you a code that will let you apply to VCC and have your $35 application fee waived. So a special discount code for a VCC application, and another contest code that will let you enter to win $1,000 in VCC tuition. So both of those prize codes are going to be revealed at the very end of today's session at about 2:45. So stick around. Next, I'd like to ask a question. So in the chat stream, if you want to participate, please let us know when you're hoping to start a VCC program, if you are. So whether that's as soon as possible, in fall 2021, any time in 2022, 2023, when are you hoping to start, and what program are you interested in? Because that's going to help our instructors tailor their presentations and answer your questions a little bit better. Oh, do we have a sign language interpreter present now, Liz?
Yes, we do. Her name is, you can find her ASL interpreter, Emily. And if you would like her, just pin her to your screen.
Yep, so that's a double click on her Zoom square. Great, so yeah. Thanks again for coming. Feel free to enter in the chat when you're thinking about starting a VCC and what program you're interested in. And while that's happening, I would like to turn it over to Chef Isabel, a very accomplished chef and actually our department head right now for VCC Culinary Arts. Take it away.
Thanks, Jen. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for being here. I only have 3 minutes, so I'm going to try to go as quickly as possible with information I can share. So for Culinary Arts here at VCC, we offer approximately 3 different programs. We offer Professional Cook 1 Plus, which is level 1, an ITA for the ITA certification to get your cook's red seal. We also offer Professional Cook 1 EAL, which is for English assisted learning. Okay, so That is for domestic students or permanent residents and Canadian citizens who need the additional English support in order to get the level 1 training. We also offer Professional Cook 2. These are all full-time programs. Professional Cook 1 Plus and ESL are 8 months long, and Professional Cook 2 is 4 months long. We also offer Youth and Trades Professional Cook 1, and these are the programs that we teach out of our high school satellite campuses. We have satellite campuses in Squamish, Mission, Maple Ridge, Langley, and the Gibsons on the Sunshine Coast. So if you live in any of those areas and you are still in high school, that you can take our programs in your area. We also offer a Culinary Arts Diploma, which is 17 months long, and this is primarily for international students. And then we have 3 individual courses. They are not considered programs, but they are individual courses which are 5 weeks long, and these are for our workplace apprentices. So you have to be registered individually as an apprentice with the ITA, with a chef sponsor. You have to be working in the industry in a professional kitchen with a chef as your trainer. You need to do 1,000 hours per level 1 and level 2 and 3,000 hours for level 3. And then you come to VCC to do 5 weeks worth of training to get upgraded and to do your certification course for each level. There is no bypassing each level. You actually have to do the training, whether at work or at school, to get from level 1 to level 2 to level 3 in order to get your red seal. The red seal is recognized across Canada. You can transfer from different institutions across Canada between different levels. And it's also a certification that is recognized worldwide. And that is all. That was good, right? 3 minutes.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you very much. Yeah, VCC, Culinary Arts, VCC is pretty famous for this program. So hopefully we'll have a lot of questions about it. Notice in the chat as well, our VCC colleagues have pasted the link to the Culinary Arts program webpage and also a YouTube tour of the Culinary Arts facilities. Let's talk to Chef Barry now about Asian Culinary Arts.
Oops. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming to experience VCC. My name is Barry Zhang, Department Head for Asian Culinary Arts. I would like to introduce the program in VCC. The really unique one is called Asian Culinary Arts Program. So that program was founded since 1975, so have a 46 years history. And we are the only one full-time Asian Culinary Arts program in North America. And the program is 20 weeks long, and we offer 2 intakes each year, which is February and September. So within 20 weeks, students will learn about 140 different Asian dishes, including soup, appetizer, entrees, noodles, you cook different kind of meat, cook beef, pork, lamb, seafoods, and so and so, and use a different type of ingredient and a different type of cooking skill. Students complete the program, they should be able to working in any Asian restaurant in town. And the programs contain with about 10 different kinds of country cuisine, which includes Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, Thai, Indonesian, Singaporean, Malaysian, Indian, and Filipino. So it's pretty intense program, and students will train in a professional kitchen in a daily basis, Monday to Friday, and all the food we cook and we prepare will sell it in the cafeteria right away. So you'll get the feedback not only from the instructor, it will be from the customer as well. The model for that the program is more like you are working in a real professional kitchen. So the atmosphere is like the professional kitchen and the facility as well. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Barry. Now I'm hungry, of course. Well, let's talk about dessert now. Let's go to Laurie to talk about baking and pastry arts.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just want to say thanks for joining us. Okay, in our program, we offer numerous intakes per year, several different programs. We'll start off with the 11-month pastry certificate program. We offer 4 intakes a year, so that's January, March, April, and October. In the pastry program, it basically focuses on pastry arts, plating desserts, wedding cakes and creation, chocolate and confection. The next one we have is our 11-month artisan baking program. We offer 1 intake per year, May. In that program, you will learn breads, pastries, gluten-free, and some savory baking and flatbreads. We also have a 16-month international program. Their intakes are February and September. You begin with the first 11 months being the artisan program, and then you move on and take 5 months of the pastry program. So that gets you a 3-year work visa when you've completed that. We also have a youth and trades program. It runs once a year in July on campus. We also have the apprenticeship programs, levels 1, 2, and 3 to get your red seal. You require to have a sponsor as well as 5,400 hours, work hours. That can also include school. Our certificate programs get you level 1 in the apprenticeship. Right, and our graduates find employment in bakeries, pastry shops, cafes, restaurants, kitchens. Some open their own businesses, some become instructors. They go into baking and pastry competitions. We actually just had one this past weekend, the skills competition, and both our post-secondary and secondary came in first. So I think that's pretty much it for me.
Thanks, Laurie. Yeah, everyone, please keep an eye on the chat stream. Danielle from VCC has been sharing links again to the Asian Culinary Arts program and the baking programs. And I'm wondering if one of you guys can put the link to our latest story about those baking contest winners in the chat as well. Okay, and last and certainly not least is hospitality management, another very popular program at VCC. And let's have Monique and Willie share about that.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us. So yes, hospitality, we have 2 programs at VCC. We have a diploma in hospitality management, what is a 2-year program. And we also have a bachelor's degree in hospitality management, what is an additional 2 years. In our diploma program, we have 3 intakes. We start September, January, and May. So we have 3 intakes a year to go into the diploma program. In regards to our bachelor's degree program, we have 2 intakes, September and January. Each program consists of 4 semesters or 20 courses, if that makes any sense. Each semester has 5 courses. So we run the semesters from September to December, January till April. And if you started a program with us in September and January, you will have the summers off, so to speak. You have it off as in off from courses, but you're actually working in industry to obtain some working experience, as you are required to have 500 working hours to complete the diploma program. If you started it in May, the program, your work experience will fall on a January term to collect your working hours. So that's a little bit about the diploma. On the degree side, there's no working experience required. We do have, again, 4 semesters as well with 20 courses that need to be completed, and we run them on the same time as the diploma, so September to December and January till April. The majority of our degree students all have full-time jobs, so we try to keep our courses over about 2.5 days. And the diploma tends to go over 4 days, depending on which, I guess, semester you are in. We have about 450 students in total hospitality. We're a popular program, lots of excitement, lots of passion, right? Yeah, and a little bit about industry, Willie?
Sure. So the industry, as most of you know, our industry was highly affected by the pandemic, but we're quite bullish. We're recovering at a high speed, and that is good news. The province has committed $800 million to the program, so that's been a success part of hospitality. And many of our students are gaining jobs. And particularly right now, you're seeing a big trend of students working in resort destinations. So anywhere between the Okanagan and the wine country, quite a number of students are heading out in that direction, or Whistler. So the opportunities are there, they're opening up. And recently, hotels in Vancouver are starting to hire more of our students for this summer. They're expecting that the summer is going to be very strong because of the local travel community that is visiting the areas. That's it for the industry news.
Thank you.
Thanks, you guys. Great. So to talk to these folks or other people from their departments a bit more and in depth about hospitality management or culinary, you can join upcoming info sessions. So those links are also going to be shared in the chat about how to register for those specific info sessions that talk about the single programs. Today's more of an intro. Also, culinary and baking have beautiful, delicious social media accounts that I think Danielle has been sharing in the chat. But if you're on Instagram, especially Instagram, I promise you, they're worth following. Okay, next we're going to talk about advising at VCC. VCC has, I think, 6 program advisors on staff, and they're literally, their job is to help students apply, figure out what they need to get into the programs and find the right programs for them. So Rajesh is here to talk about that.
Thank you, Jen. And good afternoon, everyone, for joining us on this bright and sunny day. So my name is Rajesh, and I am an advisor at Vancouver Community College. We are a dedicated team of 6 advisors, and we are at the college to help you. We assist you with resources to help make your educational journey a successful one. We will help you to map out your educational plan and help you find the quickest way to meet requirements so you can enter into your dream career as soon as possible. If you have a question about a program, about the college, and don't know whom to ask us, ask an advisor. We will put up the number that you can call to make a half-an-hour Zoom or phone appointment with an advisor who can answer all the questions that you may have. Also, today up to 5 o'clock, we are having a drop-in session where you can join into our advising room, and we will be there to answer all your questions, help you and guide you towards getting the process started in case you have decided as to what direction you want to go. We will be able to help you with the prerequisites, and especially if you have done your education out of country and you want to know as to what we will accept in lieu, we will be very, very happy to help you. That's it. Over back to you, Jen.
Thank you. Yeah, so as mentioned today, there's a drop-in session until 5 p.m. So to talk specifically to an advisor about VCC programs and how to apply, drop into that meeting anytime. For students joining us from other countries, thinking about coming to Vancouver, coming to VCC, we also have international advisors that can help you. So in the chat just now, Jana has pasted an upcoming session for international education info session, and also how to book an advising session for our international students. Okay, now is the time for your questions. So if you've been sitting on important questions, please put them in the chat or unmute yourself and share, and we'll try and answer them. While people are typing, I think there was a question a bit earlier. So I'll find that and share it. Someone is hoping to apply to event management ASAP. Now, is that Allison? Do you mean hospitality management? Let's ask Willie and Monique. What's the earliest someone could get into your hospitality program?
Next week.
Wow.
Start on May 3rd. I believe there is one, don't 100% quote me, but I think there's one seat still open. It's pretty full, but
wow.
The earliest would be May 3rd to be starting the next intake, and then it would be September or January next year.
Okay, so somebody grabbed that last seat.
Mm-hmm.
She says no events, I was told to, okay. For our continuing studies program, we do have a wedding and event management program. And that's offered through VCC Continuing Studies. And I don't know if anyone here is an expert in that, are you? No, okay. Maybe the drop into the advising room to talk about that a bit, or maybe Liz, can you paste the wedding and event management program page into the chat for Allison?
I can do that.
Thank you. Okay. Keisha is asking, is there any way to take the program part-time? Now, which program are you talking about? Do any of you guys have part-time programs? I know culinary is full-time.
Well, for hospitality, well, you can take it part-time if you like.
Okay, she's looking at
PC1. Okay, there we go. So
sorry,
culinary.
Yeah. She's looking at professional cooking 1. So Isabel, is anything part-time available in cooking?
No, we're currently not offering part-time for any of our programs. Yeah, sorry.
But tell us about the schedule, because a lot of students do still work in restaurants.
Yeah, so we have monthly intakes for Professional Cook 1 Plus as well as Professional Cook 2. That means every 4 weeks, we have a new class that starts. And I believe the next class starts, so the last class started on April 12th. So basically 4 weeks after that, we have another class starting, and then 4 weeks after that, we have another class starting. Our classes run for Professional Cook 1 Plus and 2 from Monday to Thursday, 6:30 a.m. That's my schedule. Approximately 7 a.m. To 2 p.m. Currently,
we're gonna just mute that. Thank you.
Currently with COVID-19, unfortunately, we are still doing a blended delivery. So depending on what course you're in, you may have every Monday online. Some courses have decided to do every Thursday online, and some courses will just do 1 or 2 days online and the rest of face-to-face. We are also still socially distancing. So currently the majority of our kitchens can only hold 7 students in order to adhere to the protocols. So students are rotating in groups, depending on what course they're in, whether it's on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, depending on the size of the class, the size of the kitchen, et cetera, et cetera. But for PC1 and PC2, the classes are in the morning. for PC1 EAL. The classes are partially in the morning and the rest of the afternoon, because they do English courses in the morning and then they do the kitchen classes in the afternoon. But that intake is only once a year starting September. So we only have one class for EAL programs a year. And international students are exactly the same as PC1 and PC2. It's a monthly intake with their last 4 months being evening classes.
Thanks. Yeah, we recently, somewhat recently, shifted the schedules of the culinary, the PC1, and to allow students to keep jobs. So if that's what you're concerned about, hanging onto a job, you have from 2 p.m. till the end of the day, at least every day available, all of Friday and all the weekend, to still work in most likely a restaurant or whatever it is that you do.
So I just wanted to mention on the confusion on the program, the events program, that the question was asked. If you're looking into wedding planning or events, that's a separate program. If you're looking at going into the meeting planning business, then you can do that through hospitality. And most meetings and events are involved in the hotel industry. So you would be involved into planning and designing the meetings and conferences. So you need to know a lot about some of the components of a hotel related job, and that would be applied to our program, and mostly the degree in some on the diploma program. So if that question was specifically about events in general, there's two brackets that you need to consider. So that just responding to that question, Jen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a couple different opportunities there. Here's a question from Wen Chi. How can you learn baking skills from home, or are we allowed to go to school? So that's a question for Lori. And when she is actually planning on attending the Baking and Pastry Arts in September.
Okay, so currently we're doing the exact same thing as culinary. The students, we can hold up to 9 students in our labs. That's the most we can do. So a lot of our classes are split into 2 groups. So group 1 would come Monday, Tuesday, and spend Wednesday and Thursday on Zoom. Group 2 would spend Monday, Tuesday on Zoom and come to class on Wednesday, Thursday. Some of our classes actually only have 9 students. So those classes actually run full-time. So they're in the lab 4 or 5 days a week, depending whether they're mornings or afternoons. Hope that answers the question. And I see there's also one about May baking. Currently, the May 2021, there is, last I saw, 6 spots available. And yes, the next course would be May 2022 for artisan baking.
Artisan baking, right? That's a once-a-year intake. So, and there are 6 spots available for this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. How does it work though to learn the baking at home on Zoom?
You can.
Oh, I see. So
yeah,
people
that's why we have in-lab
exactly
stuff. And then the theory is what they're learning online.
Okay. Yeah, there's always been theory and practice in these.
Yes. Yeah.
At home these days, and yeah, especially with like the baking and the culinary and all of that stuff, you don't get these certificates unless you've put your hands on stuff in the kitchen. And we've been bringing students in safely to our kitchens to make sure that happens, like since the beginning of the pandemic, actually. So yeah, you're going to be able to do this in school. And I should mention too that the government of BC has specifically let us know to prepare for a return to campus learning in September 2021. So that may or may not happen fully on September 1st or whatever, but we're supposed to be preparing. You can expect if you're signing up for a program right now and it starts in September, please do plan to be on campus, most likely. When is the earliest available intake for PC1? Do you know where there's available spots?
Actually, I haven't checked the latest numbers. I can have a look and I can put it in the chat once I find that email.
All right. Thank you. Let's talk about questions from some international students. They've been messaging Jana in the chat. What's the schedule like for hospitality in the international cohort?
So that's a great question. For September right now, it's we're leaning both ways. It could be online, it could be face-to-face on campus. We could have a mixture between both. So we are preparing for whichever direction we may have to go. That said, we do have our food production and restaurant operation courses are on campus as they are hands-on practice in kitchens and in restaurants. So those two are on campus. It looks like for now that, I mean, we are preparing to be back on campus, but like we said, we don't know, we don't have a decision yet, I guess, at this particular moment. I would say, if you ask me the same question a month from now, I'll be able to tell you exactly where we're going. But it's definitely a good question. There was another question here from Sarah. She is asking, she's interested in studying the diploma program in hospitality in January 22, and she's wondering what the schedule may look like. She's not clear on the schedule. The diploma program schedule runs over 4 days, Sarah. It's from Mondays through Thursdays. We don't have classes scheduled on Fridays, because the reason why we don't do that is because if there's a stat, for example, or like a holiday, faculty, the instructors have the option to either reschedule a class and put that class on as a catch-up on that Friday, or they can put it online as well. But you get 3 hours per course per week. So as I mentioned earlier, each semester has 5 courses. So if you would start in January, you have 5 courses in your first semester, 3 hours per course. So you're looking at 15 courses, either face-to-face on campus or 15 courses face-to-face online, depending on how it's going to be offered. But 15 hours per week is what you're looking at in taking classes. And then plus, of course, the additional amount of time that you would put in yourself, and it comes down to prepping for your classes, your courses, your assignments and exams and things like that. So hopefully that helps.
Thanks. So in terms of professional cook intakes, like we mentioned, they start every month. And Raj has, I guess he's checked. We have openings for the program within a few months after application. I don't know if Isabel, you found when the closest available spots are?
Yeah, I just posted them.
Oh, great, in the chat. I'll just read them then. Empty seats starting May 10th. That's the earliest. And after that, June 7th, July 5th, August 3rd. So at the beginning of each month, it looks like. That's exciting. Does anyone see any other questions they want answered? I'm continuing to scroll here and see what hasn't been answered yet. The post-graduation work permit. Maybe Jana, do you know much about that, or anyone else?
Yeah, I can try. So for the post-graduation work permit, this is something that you're going to apply after you complete your program. So usually those programs are 2 years, means you are going to get between 2 and 3 years from the government. This is a really good time to apply for the permanent residency if this is your goal in Canada. But yeah, most of the students, they are just waiting for this. This is a really good opportunity for baking, pastry, culinary, and hospitality as well.
Okay, so Anchal has said they're starting in fall 2021. So already received an offer letter. Are the courses online? Baking and pastry, I think. Anchal is starting baking and pastry in fall 2021.
No, you will be on campus for at least 2 days a week, if not full-time, depending if we are back full-time face-to-face.
Mm-hmm. And that's for international?
International as well, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no matter what, you need to be in the country and ready to attend class.
All right.
Just something that is important as well for international students, if you are planning to come to Canada to start your programs in September, just talk to us first, because we have to work with you about the quarantine plan, as the government is asking for this, and we can provide some support letters to help the students to come to Canada as well. So yeah.
Thanks, Jana. Okay, June is asking, can you explain apprenticeships? I think that's probably for, let's get Isabel to answer that question.
Well, that could be for baking as well.
It could be.
So for—
how do apprenticeships work?
Well, exactly. So yeah. If you would like me to go into the history of apprenticeships, back in the day, you would have to find a master baker or a master chef or a master blacksmith, right? Wherein they would become your mentor and you are their apprentice, and you basically work for free for however long they feel it takes for you to become a master of your craft, and then you start your own business. In modern day, an apprenticeship basically is you find an employer, usually somebody who actually has the ticket for the trade that you're in, whether you're going for baking, culinary, hairdressing, automotive, etc. In Canada, all trades and apprenticeships are regulated. And in BC, it's specifically regulated by the ITA, which is the Industry Training Authority. So they are the ones that decide and guide the training providers like VCC as to what is supposed to be taught and what apprentices are supposed to be learning at every level towards certification. So there are two routes that you can take. You can do the apprenticeship through an institution where, like VCC, where we become the sponsor and we are responsible for your training and everything that you're learning. Or you can go through the route where you are an apprentice at a restaurant, and the chef there is now responsible for your training for every level. So then if you decide to go through the industry route, you have to accumulate so many hours per level, wherein you then have to come to a place like VCC to get your level certification. So you have to do a practical cooking exam for a full day. You have to do a theory exam for approximately 4 hours and pass that in order to move up to the next level. You also have to have so many working hours that have to apply to the credits. So the ITA will say, for a level 1 cook, you must know how to cook eggs, make stock, etc., 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 right? And at the end of your level 1, to be eligible for certification, you have to be able to do all of these different things. Now, if you work in a kitchen where all you're doing is prepping and cutting vegetables, you are not learning how to cook eggs. You're not learning how to use the grill. You're not learning how to use a deep fryer, etc. So maybe only 25 hours that you have worked will be applied for your 1,000 hours that you're supposed to accumulate for your level 1. So when you are choosing your apprenticeship work, you may want to consider working in an establishment that gives you all around training so that you can actually achieve all the ITA outcomes for each level.
Thanks. Yeah, the apprenticeship program is it's complex, but it's very thorough too. And you learn literally everything you need to learn to be a professional. If you're curious about like the highest levels of that training, if you guys see those letters behind Isabel's name, CCC, RSE, just Google those and see what's involved in becoming a top level chef. We're running short on time here. One quick question, where do culinary students buy their kitchen tools? I do believe it's from the VCC bookstore, generally. Is there like a course pack normally that gets sold to PC1s?
Yeah, we have a base toolkit that you can upgrade to the more expensive knives if you want. I always suggest to go for the lower option. Once you're working in the industry for a longer period of time, then yes, spend the money on a nice set of knives. But a sharp knife that costs $10 is better than a dull knife that costs $250.
Ah, words of wisdom. I love it. A quick question now for Lori. How do you get work experience in the baking program?
Basically, you need to get a job in a bakery or cafe or any of that sort of stuff. We do have a small section where you go out on work experience, but that's only for 3 weeks.
Okay, so you get a bit in the program, but
yes.
Otherwise, yeah, great. There's a question about the quarantine process for international students. We do have a bulletin on our COVID-19 webpage about that. Maybe Liz can pop that link into the chat. So we'll close the question period right now. I want to mention a few services for VCC students. At VCC, we really, really want you to succeed, right? So besides the advising that we've talked about, there's lots of bursaries and scholarships available through financial aid. We have a lot of supports for Indigenous students, a gathering place and Indigenous advisors. And we're also in the process of indigenizing the campus and the programming. So lots of opportunities there. Disability services, you'll see lots of sign language, lots of visually impaired people on our campuses. We have really special programs for them to get job training. But also even in a program like baking, for example, we're the only program in the city that was able to accommodate a baker in a wheelchair recently. We've told her story on our website, and it's pretty nice. Free counseling, free tutoring from amazing tutors, all for free for any VCC students. Oh, there we go. So as we mentioned before, there are upcoming information sessions for certain programs that you can attend and ask more questions in depth. Meeting with an advisor. I think we shared the phone number, and there's a drop-in session today until 5 p.m. And of course, to apply at vcc.ca/apply. And finally, here is your contest code. So actually, no, this is your discount code. If you apply today, or actually, here's a secret, this code is valid until April 30th. So if you're not quite sure, if you want to attend a VCC program, save this code, but use it in your application for VCC and we'll waive your application fee of $35. So that promo code is INFO0421. INFO0421 when you apply. I'll leave that up there for just a moment for anyone to copy it down. And lastly, here's your chance to win $1,000 in VCC tuition. We're giving away 3 prizes of $1,000. Very exciting to go towards your next VCC program. The code for this particular session is Apprenticeship. So if you don't know how to spell that, it's APPRENTICESHIP, Apprenticeship. So go to vcc.ca/experience and click the entry button. We'll get you to fill out a survey. about your time in the event. And at the end, you'll be entered to win $1,000 tuition credit. I think we can also put a quick, oh, there it is. We've already put a quick link to that survey right in the chat in case you want to do it right now, but save that code apprenticeship to enter to win your prize. And that's our time for today. Thank you to our instructors and our advisors. Thanks to Liz for looking after the waiting room and the chat, and Danielle too. I'm going to sign off now, but I'm going to leave this slide up just in case you need to copy down that entry code. Thanks, everybody.